Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze, Breezeway Productions The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news. And we're happy to keep our coverage moving after we concluded this year's Toronto International Film Festival coverage. We have director and writer Francis Galluppi here to talk about his feature film debut, The Last Stop in Yuma County. How are you, Francis?
I'm good, man. How are you? How are you?
Very good, very good. I'm happy I was able to join you today. We were able to put things together to make this work, and I'm very excited to talk about it because the film looks super cool. Tell me a little bit about The Last Stop in Yuma County, in your own words.
Yeah, man. It's sort of a throwback to like 1970s cinema, sort of Don Siegel, Sam Peckinpah, kind of a one location movie. That was sort of constructed that way just by, for budget restrictions and time
Sure.
restrictions. So, but yeah, it's sort of the I'm terrible at elevator pitches, but it's about a traveling knife salesman that um, is traveling to California, passing through Arizona and Yuma, and there's no gas at the gas station, so he gets stuck at this diner, and it kind of bunch of crazy shit happens.
We love crazy shit here, and we're happy to talk about said crazy
Yeah,
shit. But I wanted to talk about your journey first, since this is your feature film debut, and you have an awesome cast that's attached with it, like Jim Cummings, Richard Brake, Jocelyn Donahue, etc. And we'll get into that later. But how did you get to this level from going from short to feature? Because I know a lot of filmmakers always have questions about how to make that leap.
yeah. So with this, I mean, it was like really just dragging all my friends out to these locations that we had access to. So like my buddy had a desert house, I would write a script what we had access to. So I wrote a script there because or like my buddy had a cabin. I wrote a script based on this cabin, and we all had no experience, and we were just going out there and having fun and making short films, and with like little to no money. I was just learning everything on fucking YouTube, how to edit, score, and do all that stuff. And we
Yeah.
all kind of just grew together. And my first short film, High Desert Hell, played at a festival in Cincinnati called Horror Hound, and nobody showed up. We had a terrible fucking time slot. It was like 7 a.m. after the opening night party, and but there was one person there that saw the movie. This guy James Clays, he has a clothing brand called Local Boogeyman, and he saw the short and was like, "Let's make a movie together." And so I wrote this script, and it was a long process of like trying to get it made. We had the development money, and then like kind of got caught up with the studio system and trying to make it like for a bigger budget. And um, we are just getting like kind of getting forced to throw like cast names that really weren't fit for this story, and finally like pulled the option. Um, and my buddy ended up selling his house to finance the movie. So
Wow,
yeah,
man, no
yeah,
guts,
yeah.
no glory with that one. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking nuts, man. So, and actually, even before that, once I had the option back to my screenplay, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go out to all these actors that I'm just a huge fan of and that I love." And um, I wrote letters to everybody, and had a great casting director that was able to get the letters to all these actors. And like, even when we had it casted, we didn't have the money. So finally, like James was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to sell my house," and he did it. And we did this thing like completely independently, um, just with our friends. It was amazing.
So the actors signed on to the project without proof of funds from your letters of because of personalization?
Yeah, I mean, we were still kind of riding the other, like the company that was going to finance it. That was still kind of helping, because we had some sort of proof there, but we were never going to make this movie with this cast, like, on our terms with that company. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's epic. I love
Um,
these stories. So a guy that was came to your short film that played at one of the
yeah,
festivals, linked up with you, said, "I'm making a movie with you." You formed the partnership
yeah,
there. You wrote out the letters, personalized. Dude sold his house, and then you made the
yeah,
movie from those funds with everybody that was in it. Do I have that right?
yep, yep. You got that
That's
right,
epic.
man. Yeah, it was pretty fucking nuts, dude. Yeah. And to be clear too, like was messing around with me for a long time, just being like, fuck it, I'm going to sell my house. Like, let's, and I kept telling him, like, no way, do not do that. That's so much pressure. And it's really dumb, you know? And then finally, like, once we had the thing casted and Jim was on and Jocelyn was on, um, I called him one morning and I was just like, you know, maybe I'd be a bad friend if I didn't at least entertain the idea. And I was like, look, I know you're fucking around, but if you do this, like there's gonna be no suits on set. Like it's just gonna be us. We can make the movie we want to make, no compromises. And I think like 10 minutes later, he had a realtor at his house ready to fucking sell
Wow.
it.
Probably sold it in
It was
two
fucking
minutes too.
nuts.
No, with the market the way that it is, he probably ended
Oh
up getting
yeah,
over
yeah,
asking. Yeah. Nice.
yeah. I mean, it was like well, on set. And we had been like, I mean, I was going to make this thing, you know, because it could, like and we just had the extra time to really like, meticulously plan everything. So by the time we actually had the money, it was like fucking go time.
That's great. Tell me a little bit about like your shooting
Yeah.
schedule for the last stop in Yuma County. Did you how long did you have to shoot everything, and then how long did it go from like conception into finalization?
So we had a 20-day shooting schedule, which was pretty tough. But you know, just because we were out in the desert and like the weather is just fucking nuts, it would be just full on rainstorms out of nowhere, you know, that would push things back. But we prepped so much, and like I rehearsed so much with the actors. I'd jump on one-on-one Zooms with everybody and like go through the script. So we never shot anything that like we didn't use. Like we didn't just get a bunch of coverage. Everything was planned. So we were able to move really, really quickly. And you know, there was never a moment where like we were in the middle of a scene and an actor was like, "Yeah, I don't feel like I would say that," or "I feel like I'd over here." That never happened because we just we talked so much through every fucking detail before we even showed up on set, which is the only reason we were able to shoot this thing in 20 days.
It, yeah,
And then in
because you
terms
had
of like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Good.
no, no, just to answer your first part of the question, it was just, yeah, it's been about a 3 year like process of getting this thing up and running, from like concept. I mean, I edited the movie and like, I promised myself, I was like, I'm gonna give myself like a break. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna spend some time with my kids. And then I got back and just kind of went into the fucking hole and was editing like 19, 20-hour days. And I think I had a rough cut like within 3 weeks after we shot the movie. And I was also editing weekends too. Like I would come home on a weekend and edit what we shot. So I was already a little out of it.
Did you just have your world premiere at Fantastic Fest? Is that what brought you down to Austin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We just
yeah.
premiered on Saturday. Yeah.
How did it go? How was your response? Audience response, first take.
It was great, man. It was fucking amazing. Like, you know, I was really worried if the comedy was going to come out, you know, like because I look at it as a dark comedy and like it's also really fucked up and there's some, you know, but um, it felt like there was the reaction we got. The audience really understood it tonally, and I'm like, maybe that's just because we're at Fantastic Fest and we're with like, you know, the crowd here, they love movies, and so yeah, I was just
Well, that
excited that like that got across. Yeah.
that could also be like the toughest crowd to please. So if everyone is very meticulous about movies because they've seen a million movies and then coming out with them really enjoying it
Yeah.
means that, they've passed all of the bars because, super cinephiles that like to go and watch movies are very, very hard to please. So if they gave it a
Yeah.
big roar of love, I'd count that as a two thumbs up type of win. And
Yeah. For sure.
especially with that story behind it, it's epic to hear. Congratulations
Yeah.
to
No.
that.
Thank
So
you.
in closing, what are the hopes for this film that you can see for where it would go? Like you just had your world premiere. It sounds really gritty. Obviously, we've already heard to see like what you had to go through to get this. What are your hopes for the run of The Last Stop in Yuma County?
Um, just to get people to watch the movie, man. Like, and you know, like obviously the dream would be a theatrical release, but at the same time, it's like, you know, just getting as many eyes on it as possible, you know, and hopefully this being a calling card to continue to make movies, and continue to make movies in like the same fashion that we did this in. Not necessarily somebody selling their fucking house to do it, but like, like being able to hire my friends and like make movies for the right reasons and have a fun fucking time doing it. It's like we have the coolest job in the world, and it's like, if anybody's jaded on set, like get the fuck out. Let's have a good time. And yeah, that's,
I I
I
love
want to
it.
make movies like that. Yeah.
I love you. I really appreciate your transparency with everything. Some people will, beat around the bush with how things were done, but you took a gamble with this, and that right now you're kind of riding that roller coaster because you know how hard
Yeah.
it is to make a movie. You have it very intimately done, 20 days, basically people that you know and have worked with, the letter writing, the guy that was in the screening. Such an awesome story, which makes me more excited to check out the film. So I hope our audience is able to check it out as well. So be on the lookout for The Last Stop in Yuma County. And I want to thank you for spending the time with me today. Francis Galluppi, director, writer of The Last Stop in Yuma County.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.